17. Mum and daughter go wild on cops. In October 2015, Deborah Russo and her daughter Sonny Sotile received a settlement from the city of New York after filing a lawsuit against police officers. The incident began 2 years earlier. In 2013, officers arrived at the women's home in Mill Basin, Brooklyn, to arrest Sotile's boyfriend Nicholas Giampaolo. He was wanted for allegedly breaking into an ATM in Gravesend. During the arrest, Russo and Sotile became enraged and began to physically resist the officers, leading to a scuffle. The officers claimed that the women interfered with the arrest and were subsequently handcuffed and charged with disorderly conduct. Sotile was also accused of swinging at the officers after they handcuffed Giampaolo. Several months later, their disorderly conduct cases were adjourned in contemplation of dismissal, meaning the charges would be dropped if they stayed out of trouble. Russo and Sotile then filed a lawsuit against the city and the officers, alleging that excessive force was used against them without justification. Their lawsuit argued that the officers handled them too roughly during the arrest. The city's law department ultimately decided to settle the case, deeming it in the city's best interest. The outcome of the lawsuit resulted in Russo and Sotile receiving compensation to the tune of $25,000 for the incident involving Giampaolo's arrest. The details of the settlement were confirmed by a spokesman for the city law department, although their attorney did not provide further comment on the case. 16. Abuse of power. In November of 2013, a police constable named James Kiddy was caught on CCTV repeatedly punching a suspected female shoplifter, Sarah Reed, at a Uniqlo store in London. The shocking incident took place after Reed was detained by security personnel for suspected theft. The CCTV footage captured Kiddy grabbing Reed by her hair, lifting her out of a chair and dragging her to the floor. He was then seen punching her 3 times while she attempted to shield herself. During the trial, Kiddy claimed that Reed had bitten him and falsely claimed to have AIDS, which he cited as provocation for his actions. Despite being convicted of assault, Kiddy received a relatively lenient sentence of a 12-month community order, requiring him to undertake 150 hours of unpaid work. The court heard that Kiddy, a father of 2 with no prior convictions, had been called to the Uniqlo store after Reed was detained by security guards. Throughout the trial, Kiddy maintained that his actions were a response to Reed's alleged aggression and biting, as well as her claims of having AIDS. He described his punches as being delivered with half power and stated that he didn't intend to cause serious harm. The judge, Elizabeth Roscoe, acknowledged that Reed had a history of violence and dishonesty. However, she explained that as a police officer, Kiddy was expected to adhere to higher standards of conduct. She characterized his actions as a loss of control and an instinctive and immediate retaliation in anger. In addition to the community order, Kiddy was required to pay £500, $622 in prosecution costs, and a £60, $75 victim surcharge. He also faced dismissal from the Metropolitan Police as a result of the court's findings. Following the sentencing, Reed's solicitor Victoria Hatton highlighted the brutality of the attack and emphasized the importance of holding police officers accountable for their actions. The case brought to light the broader issue of police misconduct and abuse of power within law enforcement agencies. The Metropolitan Police Service expressed dismay over Kiddy's actions, stating that such behavior was unacceptable and did not reflect the values of the department. Kiddy had previously been the subject of 2 complaints, including one related to the inappropriate use of CS gas during a protest. 15. Walmart meltdown. A shocking incident occurred at a Walmart location where a woman on a motorized scooter engaged in a confrontation with a police officer in October 2023. The woman was accused of stealing, leading to a chaotic meltdown captured in a viral video posted on Reddit. The video begins with the suspect arguing aggressively with the officer near the checkouts. The officer accuses her of stealing, to which she responds defiantly, repeatedly shouting, "Yes, I did. Yes, I did." As tensions escalate, the woman becomes increasingly agitated, yelling profanities and daring the officer to drag her the F out. She then starts throwing items, including a bottle of ginger ale and a bag of chips, at the officer and a nearby cashier. In a bid to intervene and prevent further damage, the officer grabs the woman by the shoulders, but in response, she shoves him in the face, knocking off his glasses. A struggle ensues as she pushes shelves, candy, and magazines to the floor. Throughout the altercation, other Walmart customers and employees gather around, with employees attempting to keep onlookers at a distance. Another officer, who appears to be off-duty, assists by cleaning up the area around the ongoing struggle. Amid the chaos, the woman continues to resist, shouting expletives and accusing Walmart of racism. Despite her resistance, the officer eventually manages to handcuff her, though she continues to chant accusations against the store. The video concludes with the woman handcuffed and lying on the floor, still proclaiming that Walmart is racist. It's unclear what exactly the woman was accused of stealing or what transpired after the incident. Walmart, the retail giant where the incident transpired, has faced challenges with theft in recent years, prompting the implementation of self-checkout options across its stores. Company CEO Doug McMillon acknowledged the issue of theft in 2022, emphasizing the importance of addressing it to maintain a safe and affordable shopping environment for customers. Walmart did not provide details about the specific incident, but a spokesperson reiterated the company's commitment to ensuring a safe shopping experience for its customers while striving to combat theft effectively. 14. Pastor throws punches. A pastor named Dwayne Waden from High Point, North Carolina, was arrested after allegedly attacking a worker at a McDonald's where his wife was undergoing managerial training. The incident occurred on December 28, 2023, when Waden's wife called him to the restaurant because she felt like her co-worker was disrespecting her. Upon arriving, Waden reportedly confronted the co-worker inside the McDonald's. He grabbed the co-worker by the neck, pushed his head toward a deep fryer, and proceeded to punch him repeatedly in the face. It took several employees to intervene and pull Waden off the victim. The victim sustained injuries, including a large contusion on his forehead and right eye, as well as scratches on his neck. Emergency medical services addressed the victim at the scene, and he was later taken to a hospital by his family for further treatment. High Point Police Department reviewed surveillance footage of the incident and subsequently charged Waden with assault and battery. Waden, who serves as the pastor of Elevated Life International Ministries in High Point, denied pushing the victim's head into the deep fryer, but he acknowledged that an altercation occurred. Waden's wife, LaToya Gladney, who had worked at the McDonald's store since May of 2023, alleged that the victim had directed expletives at her multiple times. She explained that she called her husband to intervene on the day of the incident. Following the assault, Gladney is no longer employed at the McDonald's location. The franchise expressed shock and condemned the violence, and stressed their commitment to employee and customer safety. Waden's court date was scheduled for January 22, 2024, but there have been no further updates on the case since then. 13. Too much spirit at Spirit Airlines. In April 2024, a Spirit Airlines employee was caught in a contentious confrontation with a passenger at Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport in Florida. And the whole thing was captured on video, as shown in a viral TikTok. The incident escalated when the airline worker demanded to see the passenger's boarding pass, which led to heated exchanges. In the video, the Spirit employee repeatedly asked the passenger to show her boarding pass in an assertive manner. The passenger complied by displaying it from a document folder. The tension between them increased when the employee, who was apparently offended by something the passenger said, explained "F you too" before storming off. The shocking outburst drew gasps from onlookers. The man recording the video suggested that the airline employee overreacted to the situation, implying that the passenger's remarks were the trigger. He noted that the passenger initially walked away after being embarrassed by the employee's comment about her language. However, the employee pursued her and continued to confront her, refusing to let her leave easily. On YouTube, the man further commented on the incident, describing the airline employee's behavior as a power trip. He suggested that the employee's intent was to exert control over the passenger and make her feel uneasy throughout her airport experience. The video sparked various reactions on social media, with some users criticizing the airline employee for losing her composure. Others, however, acknowledged the challenges that come along with a customer service job. This altercation occurred shortly after a separate viral incident involving a disruptive Spirit Airlines passenger who exhibited bizarre behavior on a flight, resulting in police involvement. Lonyeka Dillard was escorted off the plane in March 2023, and as she was leaving, she growled and snapped her teeth at her fellow travelers. The video gained significant attention, amassing millions of views on TikTok. It also prompted discussions about customer service standards and appropriate conduct in public-facing roles. The man recording the video, known as Sights, Sounds, Flavors on TikTok, provided commentary about the incident. He highlighted the power dynamics and the implications of the employee's behavior. The post reached out to Spirit Airlines for comment on both matters, but there have been no updates on the airline's response. 12. Shake It Off Travis Kelce. In the Super Bowl held in Las Vegas in early 2024, tensions flared during the second quarter of the game between the Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers. Travis Kelce, a key player for the Chiefs, expressed visible frustration when he was taken out of the game after a fumble by Isaiah Pacheco in the red zone. Kelce's outburst was directed at his head coach Andy Reid, who bore the brunt of the tight end's emotions. Kelce screamed in Reid's face on the sidelines and inadvertently bumped into him, causing Reid to stumble. Teammate Jared McKinnon intervened, leading Kelce away and advising him to calm down. CBS's Boomer Esiason analyzed the incident at halftime, noting that it highlighted the pressure and frustration the Chiefs were experiencing. However, as the game progressed and the Chiefs secured a thrilling victory over the 49ers, the incident was overshadowed by the team's success. Following the game, Kelce spoke highly of Coach Reid, acknowledging him as one of the greatest coaches in the game. Kelce credited Reid for helping him control his emotions and channel his passion, stressing the impact Reid had on his career. Reid himself responded to the incident with humor. He joked that Kelce caught him off balance, so he wasn't able to react as usual. The Chiefs clinched their victory with a late touchdown in overtime, securing back-to-back Super Bowl wins. Quarterback Patrick Mahomes played a pivotal role in orchestrating the winning drive, culminating in a touchdown pass to McCole Hardman Jr. Kelce, who's known for his high-profile relationship with pop star Taylor Swift, attracted additional attention during the game. After the victory, he and Swift shared a moment on the pitch. This incident wasn't the first time Kelce had displayed frustration towards Coach Reid during the season. In a previous game against the Las Vegas Raiders, Kelce had a similar outburst when the Chiefs' offense was halted near the end of the first half. He threw his helmet in a fit of rage, prompting Coach Reid to intervene and address the situation. Reflecting on these moments on his podcast, Kelce stressed the importance of maintaining composure as a leader. He also expressed his commitment to improving his performance for the team. Sounds like Kelce just needs to shake it off. 11. Mrs. Doubtfire. In October 2023, a motorcyclist in Elephant and Castle, South London had a peculiar run-in with an elderly woman dressed in a manner reminiscent of the character Mrs. Doubtfire. The motorcyclist, equipped with a helmet camera, captured the entire encounter. As the motorcyclist navigated through traffic, a car door suddenly swung open, blocking his path. A woman emerged from the driver's seat, adorned in a patterned top and purple cardigan resembling Mrs. Doubtfire. She immediately accused the motorcyclist of colliding with her sports car, despite the rider being visibly distant from the vehicle. In response to the accusation, the motorcyclist calmly reassured the woman that no collision had occurred and urged her to return to her car. The situation escalated when the woman, exhibiting behavior akin to the beloved movie character, proceeded to inspect the car for damage. Throughout the interaction, the motorcyclist maintained composure and informed the women that he was recording the encounter on his helmet camera. Despite his attempts to de-escalate the situation, the woman responded with obscenities, telling the motorcyclist to shut the F up. As traffic gathered around them, the motorcyclist became frustrated. He then called the woman crazy and an idiot. He eventually decided to ride ahead, allowing other vehicles to pass before continuing with his journey. The motorcyclist, who chose to remain anonymous due to his occupation, expressed confusion over the woman's behavior while reflecting on the bizarre encounter. He emphasized the importance of having a helmet camera to protect against false allegations, noting that the footage clearly demonstrated no contact with the vehicle. 10. Storm the Cockpit. On March 8, 2023, during American Airlines Flight 1192 from Barbados to Miami International Airport, passenger Robert David Croizat allegedly caused a disturbance on board. The incident occurred about 2 hours into the flight. Croizat approached a flight attendant, referred to as an FA1, and berated them for their manner of addressing him while offering meal choices. Croizat was reportedly upset, not only about the service, but also because only vegetarian options were available in first class. Croizat's behavior escalated when he demanded to speak with the captain and aggressively ordered the flight attendants to bring the captain to him. Despite being instructed by the attendants to return to his seat, Croizat persisted in his demands and confrontational behavior. He allegedly touched and pushed another flight attendant, referred to as FA3, and then turned on FA2, who was guarding the cockpit door. During the altercation, passengers urged Croizat to sit down, but he continued to be disruptive. Eventually, another passenger intervened, physically restraining Croizat, causing a glass of wine to spill in the process. The captain was informed of the situation, which was described as an attempted breach of the cockpit. Upon landing at Miami International Airport, Croizat was arrested. Croizat's attorney, Barry Wax, described the incident as an argument rather than an assault. He noted that video evidence showed Croizat poking a flight attendant's shoulder, which Wax considered an unwanted touch. Wax disputed the severity of the government's allegations and argued that Croizat never attempted to storm the cockpit. Following the altercation, Croizat pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor assault charge in Miami federal court, with a felony charge of interference with a flight crew being dropped. But the consequences he received have yet to be seen. The Federal Aviation Administration (FAA) has a zero-tolerance policy for unruly behavior on flights and has imposed significant fines for such incidents in the past. It's unclear, though, if they plan to do the same when it comes to this situation. 9. Bad Baby. Rapper Bad Baby, who's pregnant, was involved in a violent incident during dinner at Toca Madera restaurant in West Hollywood, California in March of 2024. She was with her boyfriend and baby daddy LaVaughn and some of her friends when things started to escalate. A video obtained by TMZ captured an argument between a woman from Bad Baby's table and another woman from a neighboring table. The situation escalated into a physical confrontation when one woman threw a drink at the other. They appeared ready to fight before one was pulled away from the scene. During the altercation, Bad Baby allegedly remained calm and did not engage physically. She stood beside her boyfriend as the situation unfolded and then left the restaurant with him and their friends. But not everyone believes this version of events. Bad Baby's representative explained that the altercation started because some intoxicated women were filming and yelling at Bad Baby and her group, leading to an argument. Bad Baby's boyfriend tried to intervene to protect them, but the situation escalated when the restaurant failed to step in and get things under control. However, witnesses provided a different account, alleging that Bad Baby was arguing with her boyfriend during dinner and even slapped him. The witnesses claimed that someone at Bad Baby's table noticed another person recording the argument, sparking the fight. It seems like it's unclear exactly what took place that night, but several videos have surfaced, showing Bad Baby clearly exchanging heated words with her boyfriend. Bad Baby gained fame from a controversial interview with Dr. Phil, becoming known as the Cash Me Outside girl. She's now expecting her first child with LaVaughn, which she announced on social media, sharing pictures of her pregnancy journey. 8. Traffic stop freakout. Ulster County legislator Jennifer Schwartz Berkey experienced a dramatic traffic stop on May 24, 2017. It was captured by a police dashcam and was released in response to a Freedom of Information law request. The incident gained attention due to Berkey's emotional reaction and use of her official position during the encounter. During the stop, Officer Gary Short pulled Berkey over for allegedly driving 43 miles per hour in a 30 miles per hour zone. In the video, Berkey becomes upset and begins pleading with Officer Short not to issue her a ticket, claiming that she was simply keeping up with traffic. As Officer Short checks her license and registration information in his vehicle, Berkey exits her car and starts sobbing. She claims that she's broke and trying to find a full-time job. She attributes her emotional state to a panic attack due to PTSD, but declines medical help when offered by Officer Short. Berkey mentions her position as a county legislator multiple times during the interaction, stating that she feels singled out. She then threatens to contact Town Supervisor James Quigley and Ulster County Sheriff Paul Van Blarkham. Despite Officer Short's attempts to calm the situation and offer a lesser ticket for a seatbelt infraction, Berkey protests, insisting that giving her a ticket for that would be inaccurate. So Officer Short issues her a speeding ticket, which prompts further outbursts from Berkey. Following the release of the video, Berkey issued an apology for her behavior during the traffic stop and announced her intention to remain in the race for re-election on November 7th of that year. At the time, she represented the city of Kingston in the county legislature. But not surprisingly, she lost her seat in the re-election race. 7. Teacher goes viral. At Rowlett High School in Texas, a social studies teacher named Joe Bradshaw was recorded in a 32-second video during a classroom outburst. The video, which was recorded in late 2023, garnered significant attention on social media and captured the teacher shouting angrily at a student. The video begins abruptly with the teacher yelling, "You chose for me to bring hellfire on you." The teacher then proceeds to kick a desk across the classroom, continuing his tirade by spewing unintelligible words. He picks up the desk he kicked and throws it into the air, causing it to land near another student's desk. The teacher shouts, "I'm tired of being disrespected every day." Then he further demands silence from the student he was addressing, claiming that he's had enough. Typically, such incidents provoke widespread criticism of the educator involved, but responses to this video have been mixed. Some condemn the teacher's behavior as completely unacceptable and called for his dismissal. Others, however, sympathize with the challenges faced by educators, especially in a high school setting. One social media user defended the teacher's actions, citing the low salary teachers receive and the difficulties of managing disrespectful behavior from students. Despite the controversy sparked by the video, Bradshaw remains employed by the school, according to his LinkedIn page and the school's website. The district itself has not issued any statements regarding the incident or the video, and requests for comment from the high school representatives have not received a response. The incident sheds light on broader issues faced by teachers, including low pay, inadequate support, and challenging classroom dynamics. It sparked a debate over appropriate responses to student misbehavior and the pressures faced by educators in today's educational system. The community remains divided over whether the teacher's outburst was justified given the circumstances, or whether it crossed a line that warrants disciplinary action. 6. Extreme overreaction at Wendys. In July of 2022, an elderly customer at a Wendys in Prescott Valley, Arizona, tragically passed away 10 days after being sucker punched by an employee, Antonine Kendrick, during an altercation over a meal order. The incident occurred at around 5 p.m. when Kendrick, a 35-year-old fast food worker, confronted the 67-year-old man after he complained about his meal. Surveillance footage captured the elderly man wagging his finger at Kendrick before the situation escalated. Kendrick then emerged from behind the counter and punched the customer in the head, causing him to collapse and lose consciousness. The victim was airlifted to the hospital and remained in critical condition for 10 days before succumbing to his injuries on August 5th. Initially, Kendrick was arrested and charged with aggravated assault following the incident. However, after the customer's death, Kendrick's charges were elevated to second-degree murder. Witnesses described the assault as shocking and horrific, with customers at the restaurant expressing disbelief over the violent altercation. One witness likened the punch to a Mike Tyson hit, explaining that the customer didn't provoke Kendrick in any way. Another resident who'd lived in the area for 20 years remarked that such incidents were rare in their community and conveyed sympathy for the victim. Local authorities issued a statement confirming the details of the altercation, noting that Kendrick had struck the customer in response to a food complaint. The situation left patrons shaken and saddened, shedding light on concerns about public safety and the unexpected violence that occurred in a typically quiet area. 5. Karens versus delivery driver. In a bizarre encounter captured on TikTok in 2022, a delivery driver faced off against two women demanding unexpected services after a refrigerator delivery. The whole incident sparked widespread attention online. The situation unfolded when the driver, known as Thotty.boy on TikTok, arrived at a residence to drop off a refrigerator. Instead of simply receiving the delivery, one woman insisted that the driver must install the appliance upstairs, which was beyond the scope of his duties. Unprepared for this request, the driver attempted to leave after dropping off the fridge. However, one of the women, desperate to have the appliance installed, resorted to extreme measures. She laid down in front of the delivery vehicle, blocking its path and refusing to move until her demand was met. The driver recorded the absurd situation, garnering the attention of 26 million viewers on TikTok. In the video, the woman lying under the car clarified that she didn't want to be run over, but simply wanted the refrigerator installed inside the house. She claimed that the challenge of moving such a large appliance without assistance was too much for her. This request, however, was not part of the delivery driver's responsibilities and typically required professional installation services, which could cost around $200. After attempting to reason with the women, the delivery driver ultimately had to physically remove the woman blocking his vehicle to leave the scene safely. The video sparked widespread discussion, with many expressing concern for the driver's safety and criticizing the woman's behavior as unreasonable and entitled. Some speculated that the woman may have used similar tactics before to get her way in situations. Commenters debated the appropriate response in such a situation. While most agreed that the driver was not obligated to fulfill the woman's request, some questioned why he wouldn't help two seemingly incapable individuals with a challenging task. This incident highlights the challenges faced by service workers when confronted with unreasonable demands. It also stresses the importance of setting boundaries and not allowing oneself to be taken advantage of, while also maintaining professionalism and avoiding unnecessary confrontations. In Thotty Boy's situation, many viewers empathized with his position and praised his efforts to handle the situation calmly despite the absurdity of the circumstances. 4. Disgruntled employee opens fire. In May 2021, a tragic shooting unfolded at the Duck Creek Kitchen and Bar, which is an Ashwaubenon Casino's restaurant in Wisconsin, resulting in 2 fatalities and multiple injuries. The attacker, identified as 62-year-old Bruce Poffel, had been fired from his position as the food and beverage director at the restaurant and was subsequently banned from the property. On the day of the shooting, Poffel entered the restaurant armed with a 9mm handgun and opened fire at close range. He fatally shot 32-year-old Ian Simpson and 35-year-old Jacob Bartle at a waiter station. Another employee, 28-year-old Dan Mulligan, was critically injured but was in stable condition after being treated at a hospital in Milwaukee. Additionally, Dan Robinson, another former colleague, sustained injuries but was also reported to be in stable condition after being life-flighted to a hospital. Approximately 50 people were present in the restaurant during the attack. Chaos ensued as patrons attempted to flee to safety amid the gunfire. Prior to the shooting, Poffel's supervisor Elizabeth Walker had taken out a restraining order against him due to his threatening behavior. Walker detailed in her petition that Poffel had been terminated for harassment and had subsequently sent threatening texts and emails to her family. Despite the restraining order, Poffel was not prohibited from possessing a firearm. Following the shootings, Poffel ventured outside where he shot another restaurant employee, Daniel Mulligan. This prompted responding officers to engage and shoot Poffel, killing him at the scene. Brown County Sheriff Todd Delane defended the officers' actions, stating that Poffel posed a clear threat. But the officers involved were placed on administrative leave pending investigation. Meanwhile, the Oneida Nation, which operates the casino complex, expressed concerns over the incident. Oneida Chairman Tahasi Hill cited the tribe's prohibition of firearms on their properties. But Hill suggested that the tribe might need to re-evaluate security protocols in light of the tragedy. In the aftermath, community support rallied behind the victims, with a GoFundMe campaign raising over $22,000 for Daniel Mulligan's medical expenses. The shooting left the community devastated and prompted a re-examination of security measures within the casino complex. Authorities continued to investigate the shooter's motives and relationships with former colleagues, while the community grappled with the lasting impact of the senseless violence. 3. BitBoy. In September of 2023, Ben Armstrong, known as BitBoy Crypto Online, was arrested after an intense and erratic rant outside the home of his former employer, Carlos Diaz. The incident was live-streamed on YouTube. During the 37-minute video, Armstrong accused Diaz of threatening his life, having connections to the Black Mafia, and stealing his Lamborghini. Armstrong's livestream showed him visibly agitated and confused, switching between claiming fear for his life and expressing a readiness to face any threats from Diaz. This behavior led internet observers to label him as unhinged. The altercation stemmed from Armstrong's grievances against Diaz, whom he accused of extortion and involvement in criminal activities. Armstrong was particularly upset about his missing Lamborghini, which he claimed was in Diaz's possession. Amid the rant, Armstrong also made unsubstantiated claims about Diaz's involvement with the Black Mafia. He accused Diaz of fixing sports betting and threatening professional athletes. The livestream ended when police arrived at the scene. They instructed Armstrong to put down his phone and fanny pack. Armstrong complied, but he continued streaming. He then revealed the presence of a weapon in his car and acknowledged the presence of a woman named Cassie, with whom he admitted to having an affair. Armstrong's behavior raised concerns about his mental state and legal troubles. These issues included ongoing lawsuits involving his media company and accusations of physical abuse by former employees. Despite the public spectacle and subsequent arrest, Armstrong's legal battles and personal issues remain unresolved, leaving his viewers with questions about his future and the consequences of his actions. 2. Gender-neutral bathroom. In the summer of 2023, a man visiting a Petco in Ohio became extremely upset when he saw that the store had a gender-neutral bathroom. He yelled at the employees and was visibly angry as he left the store. The man's outburst was caught on video and was shared on TikTok, where it quickly became viral. He called the gender-neutral restroom stupid and said that people had had enough of that kind of thing. His dog seemed confused and pulled away from him during the altercation. As the man was leaving, he turned around and shouted, "Stop with the gender-neutral crap. Men and women are different." An employee responded that they didn't have a choice in the matter, but the man demanded that they pass his message to their higher-ups. The man wore a shirt with "We the people are pissed off" written under a US flag. After making his point, he left the store, leaving everyone inside shocked and confused. This situation happened around the same time that Ohio Republican legislators were proposing a bill to ban transgender students from using bathrooms and locker rooms that match their gender identity. The bill required schools and colleges to have separate facilities for male and female students based on their sex assigned at birth. Gender-neutral bathrooms are becoming more common in businesses and government places as an additional option alongside gender-specific restrooms. Most people are all for making everyone comfortable, but apparently some people are enraged by the idea. We have another great video lined up right after number 1. If you need more of a daily wordless dosage, then be sure to stay tuned if you haven't seen that one yet. 1. Jamie Foxx on set. Jamie Foxx allegedly had a major meltdown on the set of his latest movie Back in Action while filming in London in 2023. The action comedy, which also stars Cameron Diaz, premiered on Netflix in early 2024. According to a Hollywood insider, there were challenges during filming. Foxx reportedly demanded immediate resolution to issues and fired 4 production staff members during his meltdown. For whatever reason, he hoped that it would improve the situation. The fired staff allegedly included an executive producer, assistant director, unit director, and Foxx's personal driver. This outburst reportedly made Foxx unpopular among some crew members. Cameron Diaz, who came out of retirement for this project, last worked with Foxx on the set of Annie in 2014. Foxx spoke highly of Diaz and expressed excitement about working with her again on Back in Action. However, Diaz wasn't exactly having that great of a time while filming with Foxx. A source told news outlets that Diaz hates drama and confrontation. Diaz officially retired from acting in 2018, but had already stepped back from the industry a few years later. She cited wanting to take control of other aspects of her life as a reason for leaving her film career. Fox's meltdown undoubtedly had her feeling like leaving Hollywood was the right choice. Shortly after filming wrapped for Back in Action, Jamie Foxx experienced what's only been described as a medical emergency in late April 2023. But it's unclear if his outburst may have been connected to said emergency.
Number 9. Misha Barton. Actress Misha Barton is best known for her role on the teen television drama The O.C., but she made headlines for many different reasons in 2017 when she was captured on video incoherently rambling and falling down in her yard. In the footage, she can be heard making bizarre statements like, "Oh my God, it's over. I feel it, and it's angry." And, we're dying. I knew it. I don't want anyone to know. Oh my God, it's terrifying." The 31-year-old went to the emergency room after her neighbors heard her screaming outside and found her in utter distress. Barton stayed at the hospital overnight and was released the next day. She said the date rape drug GHB had been found in her system and that someone must have slipped it into her drink while she was out celebrating her birthday the night before. The actress told People magazine that she noticed her own behavior becoming erratic and said it got worse throughout the night. Thankfully, Barton said she was doing well after getting treatment, and she saw her experience as a cautionary tale to other women about the dangers of getting drugged in public. But an anonymous source told TMZ her mental condition had been steadily going downhill for nearly a year by the time this incident happened, and her neighbors claimed that they frequently heard Barton throw crying and screaming fits. Regardless of what was actually going on in her life at the time, she's kept a low profile in recent years as she continues to work in the industry. Number 8. Christian Bale. In a cringeworthy display of diva-like behavior that many Hollywood stereotypes are based on, famous actor Christian Bale launched into a foul-mouthed fit on the set of Terminator Salvation back in 2008, after the film's director of photography, Shane Hurlbut, walked into the actor's sight during one take. In the disturbing audio clip that was released, Bale can be heard sarcastically imitating Hurlbut, calling him an amateur, threatening not to return to set unless Hurlbut was fired, and verbally attacking him. This excessive display caused people to see the actor in a different light, with many commenting on Bale's arrogance and saying that it seemed like he thought he was better than everyone else there. Bale quickly apologized after the clip went viral, claiming he got fact and fiction confused and was still partially in character when he lost his cool. Speaking with Los Angeles radio station K-Rock, Bale further went on to say he had had a miserable week and that he wasn't trying to make any excuses, but he just wasn't himself that day. He claimed he and Hurlbut had resolved their disagreement in private later that day. The actor also insisted he's not the prima donna type that this disturbing rant made him out to be, and pleaded with the public not to let this one embarrassing meltdown stop them from seeing a movie so many people had worked hard on. The incident came on the heels of another alleged outburst that happened the previous summer at a London hotel. While the details of this outburst are less clear, Bale's mother and sister filed a formal complaint with police, claiming he had verbally assaulted them. After the clip of Bale lashing out at Hurlbut was leaked, his sister Sharon told the Daily Telegraph she thought her brother might need help for what seemed to many to be a pattern of aggressive behavior. But recently, as Bale appeared in the new Marvel movie Thor: Love and Thunder, there haven't been any negative reports mentioning Bale's behavior. Number 7. Tom Cruise. Like many people, Tom Cruise has some pretty strong feelings about the COVID-19 safety guidelines, and he didn't hesitate to make his stance known publicly in late 2020 when he went on a profanity-laced rant on the set of the Mission Impossible 7 movie he was filming at the time. The rant went on for 3 whole minutes as he verbally blasted crew members for failing to follow pandemic rules. Cruz reportedly erupted into the tirade in front of nearly 50 set workers after catching two employees standing less than 6 feet, 1.8 meters apart from each other, while looking at a computer screen. In an audio clip that was leaked to the press, he can be heard threatening to fire certain crew members if he saw them breaking the rules again, inappropriately calling people out and saying the project was creating thousands of jobs. While some people thought the actor was acting irrational and being excessively harsh, others praised his hard-lined approach to COVID safety. Cruz himself remained silent about the viral rant until several months had passed, when he told Empire magazine there was a lot at stake at the time, and he was experiencing a lot of emotions since the project had finally gotten started after multiple pandemic-related delays. The 58-year-old actor unapologetically stated, "I said what I said," making it clear that he continues to stand by his words and follow safety protocols. Number 6. Reese Witherspoon. In 2013, Georgia state troopers pulled Reese Witherspoon and her husband, Jim Toth, over on suspicion of drunk driving. At the time, the beloved actress was known as America's sweetheart, so the public was shocked when the media got hold of footage of Reese acting wildly belligerent to the cops. The video shows Witherspoon being put in cuffs after she asked an officer, "Do you know my name?" and said, "You're about to find out who I am," while her husband was taken into custody on a DUI charge. Shortly after the incident, she released a statement apologizing for her behavior and admitted she also had had too much to drink that night. Witherspoon then cancelled several upcoming interviews to avoid backlash. 2 weeks later, though, she appeared on Good Morning America and apologetically explained how she and Toth believed they were fine to drive that night, but she realized in hindsight they weren't. She described the decision as a mistake and how her behavior was unacceptable, and she also said they were completely embarrassed by the whole situation. While her actions the night of the arrest were nothing to be proud of, many actually praised Witherspoon's honest approach and sincere apology, which helped restore her damaged image. Number 5. Vanilla Ice. The hosts of an MTV show were horrified one day in 1999 when Robert Matthew Van Winkle, also known as Vanilla Ice, destroyed the show's set with a baseball bat. He was there as a guest on an episode of 25 Lame, where viewers voted on some of the lamest music videos of all time. The has-been rapper was supposed to smash a tape of his song Ice Ice Baby with the bat, but he didn't stop there. Cast members were clearly shocked when he started swinging at furniture and other objects, making a huge mess, until the show's producers finally told him he needed to stop before someone got hurt. But Vanilla Ice made headlines for a much different kind of outburst, captured on camera in 2016. After missing his flight from Atlanta to Nebraska, he was filmed complaining loudly to a Delta Airlines employee and leaning over the counter while he did it. The gate had closed 10 minutes before he got there, according to the video's taker, and when he was told he could no longer board the plane, he threw a tantrum. Ice claimed he had been sitting nearby for over an hour and that he hadn't heard any announcements to board the flight. A nearby customer told the rapper he should have been watching the monitors that display flight details, and he responded by shouting at the man to shut up and making a few other profanity-filled statements. Vanilla later apologized on Twitter but defended his reasoning, saying, "Wrong action, but my point was right," and that he was also running on no sleep and lots of caffeine when the event took place. Number 4. Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson has appeared in news headlines many times in recent years for his outrageous behavior. It all started in 2006 when he was pulled over in Malibu on suspicion of driving while drunk. When it became apparent the interaction wasn't going the way he wanted, he flew into an unprovoked anti-Semitic rage, shouting, "Jews are responsible for all the wars." Naturally, the actor's behavior wasn't received well by public opinion. He later claimed in a Good Morning America interview that the booze caused him to make those hate-fueled statements, and that he was struggling with alcohol abuse after falling off the wagon. 4 years later, in 2010, Radar Online got their hands on shocking audio tapes of Gibson lashing out at his ex-girlfriend, Oksana Grigorieva. In highly offensive fit, he called Grigorieva an embarrassment, told her she looked like a pig in heat, and made multiple blatantly racist and misogynistic statements. He also threatened to burn her house down and wished more horrible things on her. The recordings were released during a bitter legal feud between the two former lovers. Grigorieva accused Gibson of punching her in the face during one of their many disagreements that his attorney described simply as a loud argument. Another one of Gibson's infamous tantrums was caught on tape in 2012 when he apparently verbally assaulted the screenwriter Joe Eszterhas and his family. Eszterhas released a recording to bolster his recent claim that Gibson had sabotaged plans for a movie about a second-century Jewish revolt for anti-Semitic reasons. The tape was just the latest in a growing pile of evidence that led many to think Gibson has anger issues and may harbor prejudiced beliefs. These were just the times that were reported, too. Who knows what Gibson says off the record? Number 3. Amanda Bynes. Amanda Bynes was only 10 years old when she rose to stardom in 1996 after landing a role on a Nickelodeon TV show called All That. She went on to become a successful actress until she announced in 2010 she was taking a break from her career. By then, the young star had started exhibiting strange and erratic behavior on the set of Hall Pass. She ended up leaving this project, and by 2012, she became just as known for her public outbursts as she was for her acting. That year, Bynes went on a campaign of self-destruction that started with traffic violations, including talking on her phone while driving, hitting a car and leaving the scene, and crashing into a parked cop car, leading to a DUI charge. Instead of owning up to these allegations against her, Bynes just posted a tweet claiming she didn't drink and urging then-President Obama to fire the officer who arrested her. In the meantime, she claimed she was doing better than ever despite facing 2 hit-and-run charges and being dropped by her agent, lawyer, and publisher. The reckless behavior continued as Bynes threatened to sue multiple publications for making statements she claimed were false. Some said she was mentally ill and that she had been seen walking around naked in a tanning salon. In a 2013 In Touch interview, she claimed she was sober and didn't understand why people accused her of being crazy. When photos of an alleged drug-fueled party at her apartment were leaked, she denied being in the photos and said it was just an imposter. Bynes faced drug charges, was taken to a psych ward, went to rehab, accused her father of childhood abuse that her parents outright denied, and started a fire on her property before she finally admitted she was bipolar and manic depressive. Her social media activity grew increasingly sparse and stopped completely in 2015. She's kept mostly quiet since then, but has opened up about her mental health struggles and prior drug use. Hopefully, she's gotten the help she desperately needed. Number 2. Russell Crowe. Russell Crowe was staying at a hotel in Manhattan in 2005 when he tried to call his son in Australia, but had issues. The New Zealand-born actor then hurled the phone at a hotel desk clerk's head, leaving the poor man with a scratch across his cheek. Crowe was initially charged with assault and criminal possession of a weapon. If convicted, he would lose his right to work and act in the US, and could face a prison sentence of up to 7 years. Knowing the incident was caught on camera and that he'd likely be found guilty, he worked out a plea deal with prosecutors and pleaded guilty to a lesser charge of third-degree assault. Prosecutors were open to the agreement because Crowe had no previous crimes on record, and he admitted in court that he overreacted by throwing the phone at the concierge. The actor publicly apologized on The Late Show with David Letterman, calling the incident the most shameful situation he had ever been a part of. Crowe also reached an undisclosed settlement with the hotel employee he was accused of assaulting. We all get angry at times, but taking it out on innocent people in the form of assault? Now that's a low blow, Crowe. Number 1. Shia Labouf. By the time he got kicked out of an LA deli for accusing his waitress of being racist and calling her inappropriate words, Shia Labouf was used to landing in the spotlight for bizarre and controversial behavior. Shocking footage of the confrontation shows the actor shouting at the server and accusing her of hitting him in the head with a bottle and refusing to give him any French fries. Later that year, Labouf was accused of throwing another tantrum after asking someone on the sidewalk for a cigarette at 4 in the morning and being told they didn't have one. A police officer asked him to leave the area, but he refused, going on a profanity-riddled racist fit against the African-American cop. The strange and unacceptable behavior continued after the actor was taken downtown to the police station, where he supposedly told an officer he was going to hell for his race. Labouf publicly apologized, and his career managed to somehow recover over the next few years, even as he kept landing himself in hot water with the law. But that all changed in late 2020 when his ex-girlfriend, singer FKA Twigs, filed a lawsuit against him for sexual battery. The details are disturbing, and this time it seems less likely Labouf will earn the public's forgiveness or land any promising acting gigs in the near future.
If you saw a store employee being yelled at by a disgruntled customer over something minor, would you step in and help de-escalate the situation? Or would you stay out of it and let the employee handle things themselves? Let us know in the comments down below. And if you haven't already, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and we hope to see you in the next one. Bye for now.